Here we are at the McLaughlin Research Institute, finding all about Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, a little bit of COVID.
We're going to visit the mice.
Yeah. We're going to look at these mice.
Oh yeah, every mouse
Yeah.
is numbered. We ear punch them to identify
What
them.
does September mean? That they just,
That's a wean. So if there are babies in there that have to be weaned,
oh, gotcha.
that says separate.
Okay.
Oh.
And then how big do they have to get before you start working on it?
For the drug injections upstairs, it varies, but 8 weeks is good. And I would take the mouse, I'd put it in here, and then I'd start the videoing.
And you're hoping that he finds the bedding.
Well, it will eventually. So we'd be videotaping this and seeing how many arms it goes into. Does it go into them in order? But I'm not doing the acclimation test with no bedding. We usually do a run without bedding,
Okay.
and then put the bedding in. So
Good
let's see if it
job.
works its own way.
Good job!
Yeah.
Yay! You win.
So then as soon as he finds the bedding, you stop, or you just
No,
let him go
I
for
do
a certain
5
amount of time?
minutes.
Okay.
And what you
And
want
what are you
to
looking for?
What I'm wanting to see is, without any bedding in here, it generally goes on 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or some version of that. Once you have the bedding in there, it'll spend more time in the novel bedding arm because it's something new. It's a novel scent. And it has to remember which arm is that. And it does. There's a scent on there, and it'll remember which arm that is, and it'll go back to that arm more. Now this one seems rather happy in its own bedding. Did it just poop? Yeah, it just pooped. That's life with mice.
Yeah.
Here, little guy. You've done enough.
And what are you looking for with him?
For this, we're looking for improved memory. So this is a study that's looking at injection of a drug that's targeting something else that may affect Alzheimer's. We're either giving them the drug or not,
Okay.
and then we're giving them the drug for 12 weeks, I think it is, or 15 weeks, and then
Every
we're
week.
testing them.
Okay.
And then we're taking the brains for analysis to see if the drug affected plaque buildup and if the memory is okay, if they perform properly in this test.
So the ones that don't get the injection should be impaired,
Right.
and the ones that do get it should improve.
Yeah,
right.
So then we can compare those results based on findings. The ones without the treatment should not remember, should be improved. These
Right.
guys should perform better.
But we do the same thing with mice that don't have the Alzheimer's gene. So we inject them and we run a test, and then we can compare them to the Alzheimer's mice that either got the drug or didn't.
Okay.
In case there's anything about the drug that's harming their memory.
Right.
You don't know when you
Right.
start.
Yeah.
It could harm memory even or enhance, I don't know.
We do a lot of controls.
Yeah,
Controls
yes,
help
yes.
us troubleshoot.
Yeah.
Those are
Makes me want to see Bend the Two of Us Will No More. Remember that movie with all the rats? Bit of Michael Jackson and Ben.
It's a singly house, so it's got to have a little extra enrichment.
Normally, do you put bedding at the end?
Normally I put bedding at the end, but once they're trained, they don't need it. So what I do, I start a timer when they hit that line and when they hit this line. And I'll show you one that's impaired. Now let's see how this mouse goes.
Oh, look at that already. He's got.
It's not perfect. Now you're not being good. You don't even remember you're supposed to go along the beam. Come on. Come on. You see that?
Yeah. There is that tremor, isn't there?
Yeah, there's that tremor.
Oh.
And sadly, I think that's an effect of the drug.
So is this a wild type?
No, it's a Q111. But the good thing is, with these drugs that target a gene, you can remake it, you can change the modifications on it, you can shift the target a little. So you can screen for any that seem a little toxic. Let's see one of your sieves in here. Do I have another one I can? But the drug seems to have a good effect. And that one's doing better. It's not as bad, but it's that one hind paw, you can't get both up.
Yeah.
And these aren't the worst. Some of them are just pulling the hind paws. The hind paws straddle the beam.
That's what he's doing.
Yep. So I think Jill, we're gonna be doing more different ASOs targeting this gene to get rid of that toxicity.
Yeah.
But that's why we do this on mice before we do it in humans. We know lowering the target gene is a good thing for the Huntington's defect, but if it's got this side effect,
Right.
it's got to be modified to get rid of that side effect.
Wow.
So this is a great test for motor skills.
Yeah.
So Huntington's affects a portion of the midbrain called the striatum, but those neurons that are lost affect the motor neurons that run down to your toes, to your fingertips. In humans, we go into the spine because there's a little canal in the middle of the spine where the cerebrospinal fluid runs down. So it'd be easier in humans to stick it in the spine. But the mice are so tiny, it'd be really difficult to go in with a needle into the spinal canal. So that's why we use this apparatus and go into the ventricle. And it works very well. It's very precise. I've never killed a mouse doing this. So that's a good technique.
Right.
You
How
know,
long have you been doing it?
We started one, Jill, 3 years ago.
Boy, it's been, yeah.
It's only been 3 years since you started all this?
Yes, and we've done thousands of mice on a
Wow.
variety of projects now. Yeah,
Wow.
and it's just so promising. It's not going to cure the disease, but if you lower the protein that keeps misfolding and propagating the misfolding, you can slow progression, even stop it. And with mice, we've been doing intervals of about 90 days or 60 days. So a person wouldn't have to get the drug very often. They wouldn't have to go to have a needle stuck in their back
Spinal
once
or
a
whatever,
week.
yeah.
But they could do it every 2 months. The drug has got modifications on it to keep it from being degraded by enzymes in the brain.
And we're doing interval studies now where we are
Very.
dosing intervals. So we have every 60 days, every
Different mice.
80 days.
Different mice.
Yeah, different
models.
models.
Right.
We're doing all
Right.
sorts of combinations, 2 doses. We're up to 4 doses.
Well, we're
with
doing
some
4
things.
injections at varying intervals.
Intervals.
So 60 days, 90 days, 120 days.
And
So
then
we
you
can-
go back in and look at their brain to see if it's done
At the
anything.
end, yes, we look at the brain
Okay.
pathology. The company we're working with, we ship the brains to them. They can do it faster than we can. But,
Right.
yeah.
Wow. So okay, I understand what you're saying now. You have different models and they all run the same course, and then at the end of that course, then you look at the different doses
Yeah.
that you've done for
And
each
see
model.
which extends lifespan the longest.
Right.
How long can we keep these
Right.
mice going
Right.
without symptoms?
Right.
We want to get into mechanism better, so we're doing some experiments like the RNA-seq to look at mechanism. We do have to screen the oligos for toxicity, as Mike mentioned. Sometimes the oligo itself may kill the mouse.
Right.
They tend to have, if it's toxic, they have seizures, so it's like epilepsy. And some of them are mild, but some of them are pretty drastic.
Our capacity is 8,000 cages.
Okay.
But
So
we don't-
we can
we're
put
not
4
there.
mouse per cage.
Right.
So that would be our maximum
Maximum.
capacity.
And that would be 32,000, but we have about 1,500 cages right now. 4 to a
With
cage,
4 each.
that's about
each one.
6,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Our numbers were way up when we were doing mutagenesis studies, because I had thousands of mice for that, So it depends what we're doing at any one time.
So you two work together, and then other ones work on different other.
But we also, we overlap, like I work on the Huntington's project as well,
Right.
because that involves the ASOs. Andrea does our cerebrospinal fluid, so different people have different skills.
That's amazing.
But I don't work on the COVID project. I don't work on Mike's SLC-4 project. So yeah, it's split.
Is Mike working on the COVID project?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If you want to know the details on that, talk to him
Wow.
more about that.
So amazing and so interesting. Thank you guys so much. I mean, oh my gosh. Who would have known that they had mouse breeders?
They
Makes
have
sense
them.
though, for these tests. You know?
Jackson
I mean,
Lab,
I don't know,
Taconic,
what was I
and
thinking, that they were just running out and trapping them somewhere,
Just-
bringing them
Yeah.
in?
Out in the field.
So that's
A
why
lot of traps.
we know the health status when we start,
Right,
because
right.
there's a rigid cleanliness health standards. They're inbred, so they're all about the same genotype. They're
Right.
all similar. No, we would not use wild mice because
Right.
of disease.
Right, exactly, yeah.
We had some mice in here a few years ago, and we looked at their brains that had a tauopathy, and it was similar to Alzheimer's.
And that's the brown part.
Yeah, that arrow
Is that their
and
other
that
side of
round.
their, is that the other side of their brain?
They have two. They
Okay,
have one
yeah,
on
so that
each
part,
side.
okay, got you, yeah.
Mhm. And in disease, there will be, you can see that the cells are just missing. Part of that whole arrow and that whole structure will be missing, and there will be pieces, or it'll be really thin, like there will be one cell layer instead of those 5 cell layers.
Right, right.
Thick. So,
The pure level of DMSO still works on humans faster than anything for ankle sprains.
No. Yeah.
I mean,
It's just a really, really powerful anti-inflammatory agent. And I don't think that you're supposed to use it though in people.
Well, he does. I'm here to tell you.
It gets
I-
absorbed through your skin really fast.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
it
And I've
works.
only-
Safe for horses.
my grandfather, who they did, for years, he used it, and he lived to a long age. But I'm just saying, I don't use it very often, but I've had some football injuries. I was an football
Yeah.
official. I got ran over a few times, and I tell you, we used it for 2 days, and where it would have lasted, took me 2 weeks.
It's really interesting in horses, if you have a horse with a neurologic impairment and it's acute, you can do IV DMSO, and it really helps the inflammation and
Oh,
gets them
wow.
back to healing.
I didn't know you could do IV
It's
DMSO.
scary,
That
and
sounds
it makes them
drastic.
smell really bad.
Yeah, I
Their
hate the
breath
smell.
is terrible.
I hate
They've
the
used
smell
it on the
of
navicular
DMSO.
nerve on, the front horse's hooves, and it's really helped out. I mean, it's really, that anytime because many people want to cut that nerve, well, then that horse doesn't have to, as you well know, to pull that foot forward.
And it grows back when you cut it.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Interesting.
So we have a Y maze, and we can put different things, different bedding from different cages at different ends. And we let the mouse go, and it's previously been acclimated to the Y maze.
Okay, but
And ordinarily it would go 1, 2, 3.
now is that a
1,
healthy
2,
one, or
3.
has he been injected with something?
This has been injected with something, but it is one of the plaque model mice.
Okay.
Okay, actually, I don't know if this particular mouse is our wild type control or if it's one that gets plaques, because we always have to have a comparison group, something that's not got the plaques.
Well, he didn't recognize that over there, so.
Nope, he didn't go all 3. But we have an intern who sits and goes through the seconds they spend in each arm, and so to quantitate them, and thank heavens we have,
He's spending more time in
May.
this one.
yep, and that's N for novel.
Sure there's no food up there?
Now it goes back. Anyway, so this is another test that we can do to see if there's memory acuity.
Right.
There are computer programs out there that say they will automatically analyze these sorts of behavioral videos. They put a dot on the mouse's nose and track it, and they
Like a webcam?
Yeah. and they just don't work because the dot will jump to the tail, and you have to hand edit the output.
Right.
So right now, until we find a better computer program, and our collaborator at Wake Forest is testing some,
Right.
we have the student intern
Yeah.
to do the tedious stuff. And you can take all those slices, we call it, and reconstruct a 3D image. And when we're working in the brain with the amazing three-dimensional architecture of the neurons, that can be very useful. I'm going to show you an example that's a nerve in red, but this is down in the leg, just because it's cool seeing the 3D and it lets you see what we can do. The green is the neuromuscular junction, so that's the muscle side where the nerve in red impacts to control walking, our toes, our fingers, our neck moving. And it's an incredible three-dimensional shape. And this is just a straight through. But what you can't see is if the nerve is coming at the neuromuscular junction from the back or down here, we don't really see it very well. So what we can do with this scope is take slices through it, and we can go up and down through that section. And I can actually look at the side view through the section. If I bring this yellow bar down, this is the thickness of the section. This tells me where I'm looking through the sample. You can see the nerve fibers there in red. There's a neuromuscular junction there in green, and the red's abutting it. And the same for the other side. I can move this from right to left. It's over here, there I've got these nerves here. And then I can do a 3D reconstruction. And what's brilliant about this is that in a 3D reconstruction, we can actually see if the nerves are receding from, withdrawing from the neuromuscular junctions. So I was looking at a disease where there was withdrawal, but I didn't have the confocal at the time. And I would have to go through sample after sample and try to find a neuromuscular junction with the nerve on the same plane of focus. And it took forever to find that, and enough samples to show that yes, I am getting withdrawal of the nerve from the junction. I could prove it. So it was very difficult, and this microscope really is a boon for that sort of three-dimensional work. There's a protein that's involved in Parkinson's disease, and it was first identified in Alzheimer's plaques. It was called the non-amyloid component of plaque. And there's a lot of question about whether it was just coincidentally in the plaque or part of the plaque itself. Did it contribute to the plaque?
Is this a mouse brain?
This is a mouse brain.
Okay.
And this mouse has 2 human genes in it. We put them in by transgenesis. And in the red is the amyloid plaque, like as seen in Alzheimer's patients. And in the green is a Parkinson's disease protein. And what I could do by using the confocal was see that the Parkinson's gene protein clusters around the plaque, but it's never really inside the plaque. Sometimes if you get the angle wrong, when 2 proteins are close together in this sort of system, you get a yellow signal. The green and the red combine to show a yellow signal. So the yellow makes it look like, yes, the Parkinson's protein is inside the plaque. But if we rotate this, that yellow goes away. We realize it's just the angle. We're looking down on top of 2, and by rotating, we can separate them out. And you notice the green is less abundant out here, and it looks like the Parkinson's protein clusters around the plaques. And it's so obvious that on a lower magnification image, if I just stain for the Parkinson's protein, I can see little donuts with a hole in the middle where the plaques were. Then if I do the double staining, I can see the plaques show up. So I don't understand what is going on here yet about this interaction and whether this contributes anything to Alzheimer's disease. I have no idea yet, but it's just an observation and kind of interesting.
And the blue?
The blue are nuclei of cells. The blue is DNA. So we have a cell, there's a nucleus with the DNA in it, and we use a stain that we call it intercalates into DNA, and it shines blue. So these are neuronal. I can tell because the nuclei are really big, non-neuronal nuclei. I don't see, there was one there, a tiny little blue, more compact.
So now that you have the green Parkinson's in there and the plaque, what do you do now? What's next with that?
Well, what I did was do this over aging. And it looks like plaque accumulation varies depending on the state of the Parkinson's disease protein.
Do you think it's stopping it or
No,
furthering it along?
no. If you go out long enough, the plaques are all the same. But if the Parkinson's protein's there, it goes up this fast. If it's not there, it goes up more like this. It's slower at the beginning.
It's just
the
knowing that this
accumulation.
world will not be
I
cursing or
think it
forgiving.
does. But
When I walk along some railroad track and find that you're moving on the back roads by the rivers of my memory, and for hours you're just gentle on my mind. Though the wheat fields and the clotheslines and the junkyards and the highways come between us, and some other woman crying to her mother 'cause she turned and I was gone, I still might run in silence, tears of joy might stain my face, and a summer sun might burn me till I'm blind. Oh, but not to where I cannot see you walking on the back roads by the rivers flowing gentle in my mind. Well, I'll dip my cup of soup back from a gurgling, crackling cauldron in some train yard. My beard a ruffling coal pile and a dirty hat pulled low across my face. Through cupped hands round the tin can, I pretend to hold you to my breast and find that you're moving on the back roads by the rivers of my memory, ever smiling, ever gentle on my mind. Yes, you're waving from the back roads by the rivers of my memory, ever smiling, ever gentle on my mind. I've been walking these streets so long, singing the same old song. I know every crack in the dirty sidewalks abroad, where hustle's the name of the game, and nice guys get washed away like the snow and the rain. Really don't mind the rain, and a smile at all the pain, but you're down and you're riding the train that's taking you along. But I'll do the things I'll do with a subway token and a dollar tucked inside my shoe.
Like a rhinestone cowboy and cowgirl. Only one we did rehearse at the house. And that's the first time we've done it, just me and him, so it's like, okay, whatever.
Glenn would always say, I heard him say this many times, Friends, if I did it perfect, you'd want it that way every time.
I get to Phoenix, you'll be rising. You'll find the note I left hanging on his door. He'll laugh when he reads the part that says I'm leaving, 'cause I've left that boy so many times before. By the time I make Albuquerque, he'll be working. He'll probably stop at lunch and give me a call, but he'll just hear that phone keep on ringing off the wall. That's all. By the time I make Oklahoma, he'll be sleeping. He'll turn softly and call my name out low, and he'll cry just to think I'm really leaving. Though time and time I tried to tell him so, he just didn't know I would really go. No, he didn't know I'd go. I am a lineman for the county, and I drive the main road, searching in the sun for another overload. I hear you singing in the wire, I can hear you through the wire, and the Wichita line is still on the line. I know I need a small vacation, but it don't look like rain. And if it snows, that stretch down south won't ever stand the strain. And I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. And the Wichita line is still on the line. And I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. And the Wichita line is still on the line. And he's doing fine. keyboard player and a bass
Yeah.
player, you know.
Great.
And no microphone.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
This was a big hit for Glenn in 68 or 69, and we kind of brought it out of the archives. I said, Deb, wouldn't this be a great song to sing harmonies with, you know? So it was the old "Where's the Playground, Susie"? You guys remember that song?
It's a Jimmy Webb.
Jimmy Webb. What's that?
Yes. Yeah, and Phoenix. And Where's the Playground, Susie? Yeah.
Heaven's come, found us here, with our toys scattered all around us here. The puzzle that we never found an answer for still asks us, darling, just what all the games were for. And here we stand in a box of sand. Where's the playground, Susie? You're the one who's supposed to know her way around. Where's the playground, Susie? If I don't stay around, if I don't stay around, the carousel found us here. It twirled a time or two, and then it dropped us here. Still you're not content with something about me. But what merry-go-round can you ride without me? Take your hand, how would you stand? Where's the playground, Susie? If I decide to let you go and play around, where's the playground, Susie? If I don't stay around, if I don't stay around, where's the playground, Susie? If I decide to let you go and play around, where's the playground, Susie? If I don't stay around, if I don't stay around, where's the playground? Where's the playground, Susie? And if you see your sister falling by the way, just stop and say, you're going the wrong way. You've got to try a little kindness, show a little kindness, shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded street. Don't walk around and down and out, lend a helping hand instead of down. And the kindness that you show every day is gonna help someone along life's way. You've got to try a little kindness, show a little kindness, shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded street. Of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded street. I kind of revised this a little bit. An only child alone and wild, a
a poor sharecropper's son. His hands were meant for different work, but his heart was known to none. He left his home and went his lone, a solitary way. But he gave to me a gift I know I never can repay. A silent man of music, denied a simpler fate. He tried to be a beach boy once, but his music wouldn't wait. He earned his love through discipline, a quiet thundering hand. His gentle means of sculpting souls took me years to understand. The leader of the band is tired and his eyes are growing old, but his blood runs through my instrument and his songs are in my soul. My life has been a poor attempt to imitate the man, but I am a living legacy to the leader of the band. My brothers' lives were different, so they heard another call. One went to Chicago and the other to St. Paul. But I'm in Arizona when I'm not in some hotel, living out this life I've chose and come to love so well. I thank you for the music and your stories on the road. I thank you for my freedom when it came my time to go. I thank you for the kindness and the times that you were tough. But Daddy, I don't think I said I love you near enough. The leader of the band is tired and his eyes are growing up, but his blood runs through my instrument and his songs are in my soul. My life has been a poor attempt to imitate the man, but I am a living legacy to the leader of the band. I am a living legacy to the leader of the band.
How do you do that without the air out?
Well, I get through most of them. There's one song that we do that I pretty much break down every time I try to sing it, and it's hard to do with just me and Craig, I think. But
It would be, I mean, just because we have it's a slideshow that'll rip your heart out.
yeah.
And then we have a guy that plays piano, played for the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra. He's in our group. Phenomenal. And so I just noodle along with Greg as he's putting all these incredible chords in there. Yeah, it'll jerk your heart out.
It's on my Debby Campbell Facebook page, and it's the first video. My husband put it together the very first year, the anniversary of Dad's death, and it's just his life, and the song's called Only One Life, and it's just, you know, I can't watch the video when I'm singing it. I just kind of have to stay away from it, because then I sort of get choked up, and it's pretty, it took me, I was going to have my CD done before Dad passed away, but I couldn't, because after he passed away before I got it done, and every time I go in the studio and try to do some of his songs, I would break down crying and just couldn't do it. So it took me quite a while to get through it, and then I finally released it on his birthday the year later.
This one I'll do. Always loved this song. I thought this song was really written for Glenn. It's on the Rhinestone Cowboy album.
Living in the city what the job demands. You make new plans before your big chance is gone. You get a house paying everyone's bills, and they tell you that you're gonna go far. Yet in the back of my mind, I hear it time after time. Is that who you really are? Country boy, you got your feet in LA, but your mind's on Tennessee. Looking back, I can remember the time when I sang my songs for free. Country boy, you got your feet in LA. Take a look at everything you own. But now and then my heart keeps going home. Talking on the telephone, setting up another day. People to me, you gotta do what's right. Spend the night, staying in touch with the streets. When you're surrounded by friends, they say the fun never ends, but I guess I'll never figure it out. Yet in the back of my mind, I hear it time after time. Is this what it's all about? Country boy, you got your feet in LA, but your mind's on Tennessee. Looking back, I can remember the time when I sang my songs for free. Country boy, you got your feet in LA. Take a look at everything you own. But now and then my heart keeps going home. Country boy, you got your feet in LA, but your mind's on Tennessee. Looking back, I can remember the time when I sang my songs for free. Country boy, you got your feet in LA. Take a look at everything you own. But now and then my heart keeps going home. 'Cause I'm a country boy.